Hi everyone, welcome to GFG Student Chapter RTU. I am Bharti Kumari and I am undergraduate student at Rajasthan Technical University Kota. And currently I am the chapter lead at GFG Student Chapter RTU. So today here we are going to discuss about Git and GitHub. So we have two speakers now. Charan, who is a SD intern at Artyvis, and Sohail Ahmad, who is SD intern at Exinous. Okay, guys, if you are here, can you comment, please? Yes. Okay. Now I would like to invite Sohail Ahmed. Uh, Please introduce yourself, Sohail Ahmed. Over to you, Sohail Ahmed.
Hello there, everyone. First of all, thanks RTU College, the Student Chapter, and Bharti for having me here. My name is Sohail Ahmad, and I'm a front-end engineer at Exinous Technologies. I'm a pre-final engineering student at the National Institute of Engineering, and here today we are going to learn about Git and GitHub. So, um, I'm suppose okay. So we have got two people here waiting for more. So, shall we start, Bharti, or should we wait?
I think we should wait for 2-3 minutes.
Yes, wait for a few minutes.
Guys, we would be starting in 2-3 minutes. Uh, Good evening, all. You can invite your friends also to join in. Okay, now we have a good number of people. We can start now. Over to you, Sohail.
Okay, so my screen is visible, right? So here
Yes,
we
it is
are
visible.
today we are learning about Git and GitHub. So what is Git exactly? It's a version control system. Now you might have come across this name version control system, but let me justify it here. Let's suppose you are building an application in real life and you have your current version as version 1.0 and you want to add some feature to it which is gonna roll out to version 1.1. Then you add it, you commit, and you push it to the production. What happens by any luck you get some bug in your code and the application crash, you know. So in that situation, what you can do is version control system helps you like keep a track of your versions. So you can get back to your previous version which was working correctly, and then you can make some changes, go there and do some stuff to make it right. So that was that was the application of Git in real life. So it allows you to compare changes over time. Let's suppose you are creating some project or you have a repository, right? So there you can keep track of your changes, like what files you wanna add to stage, what you wanna commit and all. So it basically helps to keep a track of the entire project. So you can do pretty much many things with this. And I have come across some people some people might have some misconception about Git and GitHub. So let me tell you. So Git basically is a command line software where we like it is used to keep track of our files and all. But GitHub is a platform. It's a cloud-based hosting platform for collaborative work, which lets you work on the same project. Let's suppose you are building a project with your friend, and you wanna build it together, and you wanna deploy your code somewhere. So there, GitHub comes into action. You can use Git with GitHub and you can deploy your project there. Your code will be maintained and you can keep track of your codes, your changes with Git. So I'll be moving ahead with installation part and setup. Then Sai Charan will take over. So, okay. So these things I've covered for collaboration to revert back and Git has a huge number of community supported. You know, the community is really large. No matter if you use GitHub or GitLab, Git is used everywhere. It's a most famous, most popular version control system, and pretty much every organization uses it, and everyone is most of people are familiar with that. So, talking about the setup, okay. So here you can move over to this route git-scm.com and downloads. Once you go here, you'll find download for three of your operating systems, macOS, Windows, and Linux or Unix. So go ahead and click here. Let's suppose I click here, and it provides me some command line code for installation, brew. If you are working on Windows, you can click here and it will get you to this page. Here you can select 64-bit Git for Windows setup. So once you click it, it will go ahead and download itself. But I'm not gonna download because I have already Git in my terminal, and also this Windows file. So you can go ahead and install it. So after you install, just come back to your terminal. I'll take a pause here. So if you guys can install, let me know. Okay. Now what we can do is, if Git is installed properly, we can check it using Git hyphen hyphen version in our terminal. If you are using Windows, you can run it on command prompt. If you're a Mac user or a Linux user, you can open your terminal. So hit enter. You'll see Git version. I'm currently using the latest version, I believe. This is 2.38.1, and the shorthand property is Git hyphen v. Okay. So once you get Git installed, like how it is exactly going to know which account you are using for like pushing your code, keeping track and all changes. So let's suppose you have your GitHub account with this email ID xyz@gmail.com. So you want to push your code to GitHub using Git on that particular account only. So for those things, we have to configure our Git. So here you can use git config hyphen hyphen global and user.name followed by your name in double quotes. So here hyphen hyphen global stands for like you are globally installing it for every of your every of your repository that is on your computer. And if you do systems, see, a computer has can like a computer may have many users. So if you want this property, this email and name to applied on every user in your computer, you can use instead hyphen hyphen system, this thing. And if you want to apply it to every repository of a particular user in your computer, you can use hyphen hyphen global. And if you want, there's a third option also, which is no flag. Suppose you have omitted this global, deleted this. So if you do this, whatever changes you are making in the current directory, it will happen there only. This email and username will be applied to the current directory only, which you are like into. So yeah, this was pretty much about it, the installation part and overview of GitHub and Git. Now Charan can take it up. All the best.
Yeah, am I audible? Can you confirm it?
Yeah, you are.
Okay, cool. Okay, hello everyone. I'm Sai Charan. I'm currently SD intern at Artyvis and I'm a pre-final year student at IIIT Manipur. So I'll be talking about some core topics about the Git. So let's get started. So firstly, is my screen visible, right? Sohail or Bharti?
Yes, it is visible.
Yes, it is. It is.
Okay, cool. Okay, so let's get started. So firstly, we are starting with the Git locations. Okay, so this is one of the main thing in the Git. Okay, so let's actually there are three types of location in Git. So the first one is the working tree. The second one is the staging area, and third one is the local area. So okay, let me initialize the Git repository. Then it will be a better. Then you can get a better idea. So you can go and actually create a new folder and open the Git bash here. Okay, so initialize the Git repository by executing the command git init. So you can see it initialize the empty Git repository. Okay, and this is the Git folder which contains the all files regarding the related to the Git. Okay, so this is known as the working tree. The inside the contents of the inside .git. So this is known as the working tree, and all the your project files that you wanna keep track of. Basically, you're doing a version control of that files. So those resides out here in the new folder in the same level as the .git directory. Okay, so all files in the folder that we add to the Git repository resides outside the .git folder. So the staging area. So files that are planned for the next commit. Suppose you are working on your project, so you did some work, you implemented some new features. So So those files are in the staging area. So you are planned for the next commit. So you want to fix that changes. You want to roll out that changes. So this can be done with the git add dot command. So what does dot means is you are adding all the files in the staging area, all the files regardless of any files or ignoring any files. Okay, and you can specify the file by adding the file name instead of the dot. So and the local repository. So this contains the commits that are fixed by you. So you can consider this as a checkpoint. Okay, so if you mess things up in the future in work after committing and somehow you mess things up, so you can always come back to this commit and you can roll out that changes. Okay, so let me show you. Suppose we create a file here. Just file create dot txt. Okay, so this creates a file here. Let's add some content here. So this is file. Okay, so I have closed this. Okay, so you can check the status of your repository by executing git status. So you can check your no commits yet, and this is the untracked file. Okay, so we can add this file to the staging area by git add dot, or you can go ahead and write file a. Okay, I need to give a path. We just do it with add dot. Okay. So if you execute this command now, you can see the new file is changes to be committed. So this is the is in the staging area. So you can commit this file by executing the commit command. Here is the git commit -m, and here is a commit message. So let's do that. So git commit -m. You can just write created file a and execute this command. Okay, so here we get a message, a created node, and we create a node. So you can check the status by git log. So here you can see that I have my username, I have my email and date, and here the commit message created file name. And if you execute git log minus one line, so you get this in the concise way, only in one line, leaving all the user data and dates and all. Okay, so this is how you commit, how you can commit to your project. All right, so let's move on to the next one. So this is how it is. So initially you have working directory, you execute the git add command, you stage that files in the staging area, you commit that file, and those gets has to be your local repository, local git repository, and you get the ID of that commit. So if I show you here, you can see that here 6F8B. So this is the ID or encrypted SHA-56 encrypted code. You can see it here. So you can use this ID to come back here later. Okay. So this is about the Git locations. So let's get started with the branches. So we use branches in the Git to separate our work or to organize our work. Suppose you have your production branch, so which is hosted, and you don't want to disturb or you don't want to mess that branch. So what you can do is you can create one feature branch. You can implement those features. You can experiment with the code. So it will not affect your production branch. Okay. So that's why we create a branch, and the set of commits that traces back to the project first commit. So suppose we have a production branch, we did our two commits, we roll out this feature, we roll out this production to the production, and we created a feature X branch. So we are basically doing some implementing some new features and all. So master branch has the only two commits, that is B and A. Okay, so and the feature X branch will have all the three commits. So basically all the work you have done are all be in this commit C. All right, so this is about the branch. Okay, so and benefits of the branch. So enables the experiment in the code. It means that code is isolated. So no matter what you do in here, so this code is always isolated. You can continue work on the master branch regardless of the work on the C branch, C node, which is feature X branch. Okay. So it enables the team development. Suppose you are working, two, three friends are working on the same project. You can have your separate branches. You can work on those branches and later you can merge those branches. So the main repository contains all the code you have worked on. Okay. So that's how we work on it. So it works, suppose the multiple version of the code. Suppose you have master branch. This is production. You can have a test branch which will be used for the testing purposes. you can have a feature branches, you can have a hotfix branches like those. Okay, and the set of the commits that traces back to the project first commit. This I've already told you, and there are basically two types of branches: the short-lived branches, or we can also call it as the topic branches, and the long-lived branches. So short-lived branches are basically for the short term. So suppose a feature branches or a hotfix branches or bug fixes branches. We create that branch, we work on that branch, we merge to the master, we delete that branch. That's it. So these are temporary branches. Like a hotfix, you create that branch, you do some fixes, you can merge that branch, and you can delete that branch. And long-term branches are the master and develop and test branch. Actually, the master, which is the hosted, you may have a develop branch, you may have a test branch. So the scope of these branches are pretty high. So this is how it looks like. Suppose you have committed commit 1, commit 2, commit 3 in the master, and suppose you want to work on some different feature or do you want to experiment on your code. So you can create your. So this is how you can. This is in the commit 3. Suppose we trying to implement some new feature. So we have created a branch. So it is the commit 1 of this branch. We committed some code. We committed some another code. Some developer found here. And in the master branch, and some developer is working on the master branch. So he created another branch. So you can see that master branch didn't get affected with these feature branches. So this is the isolation of the code. This feature branch is isolated from this. Okay. Okay, so these are the few commands that you can create, you can execute to create branches. So let me show you. So if you see the commit graph, by the way, you can see the commit graph at git log minus one line, then you can pass the flag option, graph option. So you can do, and you can see that this is the commit graph. Actually, we have only one commit. Later on, it will be more clear. So this is the we have our head flag. Actually, the head label which points to the master, and here we have the commit message. So let's create one branch. You can create a branch by git branch and branch name. Suppose we have a feature X. So this creates a feature X branch. You can check those branches by executing the git branch command. So we are here. We have two branches, master and feature X. The master is the current branch we resides in. You can also see it here. Okay, so you can go to the feature X branch by git checkout feature X. So we switch to the feature X branch, and suppose we created some file here. We did some work. So git touch file.txt. So this creates a file me. Let's add some content here. So this is a file. Okay, we added some content, and we similarly we add this file to the staging area. We commit, create a file me. So this commits the code, and we can check git log minus one line minus graph. So here you can see that our head points to the feature X branch, and it has the commit created file me. So this is how you create a branch. You work on that branch. Actually, there's a shorthand for this. Git checkout. You can directly use git checkout -b and branch and suppose hotfix. So this creates a new branch as well as checkout to the new branch. Actually, so these two codes that git commit one, not git commit, where it is git branch and git checkout. These two command is here. Git checkout -b hotfix. So let's check out to master again. So you can see here the file master branch has no idea what the file is. So it is only in the feature branch. If you see the commit here, let me show you graph actually. So here you can see the
Sorry to
master don't
interrupt
have
you.
the,
Sorry to interrupt you, Sai Charan. Can you
yeah.
can you zoom your screen a bit?
Okay, so let me. Okay. I think this is visible. This is
Yeah,
pretty.
now it's fine. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Okay, so you can see it here that the master branch has only the one commit, right? And in the feature X branch has the two commits. So you here from here you can see that the master branch has no idea about it. This code and code at the feature branches are totally isolated from the master branches. So let's move on to next one. So this is the how you create a branch. This is a shorthand git checkout -b and branch name. And this is you can view all your commits by git log or git log minus minus one line. Or if you want to delete your branch, you can execute the git branch minus the feature x. Okay, so let me show you once. So you can execute git branch. So let's delete the hotfix branch. So we don't need that branch. Okay, so actually we don't have any commits in the hotfix branch, so so Git is giving us a warning. So if we didn't did any commit there, right? So we can lose our track of files. So we can force this by passing the minus d flag, capital D, and hotfix. So you can see the hotfix branch is deleted, and we can execute the command git branch to see all the branches, and you can see the hotfix branch is not there, right? So let's come to merging. So how exactly you want to know actually how exactly you combine your fit changes in the master branch. So we use the merging. So suppose you have master branch, you did some work in the feature one, you did two commits. Now you are good with these two commits and you wanna roll down the commit to the master branch. So what you can do is you check out the master branch and you can just combine these branch changes to the master branch. So this is known as the merging. So after merging, master branch will contain the new features. So previously what was there, the master branch has only two commits, A and B. And worked on the branch C and D. Master branch has no idea about the C and D commits. So when you merge the code, so all the commits A, B, C, D, E, this all gets into the master branch. So this is the merging. I will show you in a bit. So let's see here. Actually, we have two types of merging, the fast forward merging and merge commit. So this is the default merge that is fast forward merge. So actually what happens is you did two changes. Show you here. Two changes A and B. It is a commit on the master. C and D is commit on the feature expansion. So when you merge these commits, so actually what happens is this instead of creating this new node, the head of the master branch comes to D point. As you can see, the master branch head changes to here. Alright. So in the merge commit, what happens? This is a new node, and we commit those files here. And if you wanna actually by default the merging technique is no fast forward. So you pass the hyphen no ff tag to do this. Okay, so let me show you once to be more clear. Suppose let's check out our feature example. Okay, we are in a feature branch and let's do some more changes into this branch. Suppose in file we added this is on and let's leave it here. Okay, so let's commit this file. You can verify the git status. This is untracked, unmodified file. So we add to the staging area. We commit this file. Uh, Modified file. So we modified it, and so now you can take git log. So we can verify that this is committed, and let's see the graph of this commit. You can pass the all flag, all option to see the commit graph for all the branches. Okay. So here you can see the master. We created a okay. So we created file B and we have the modified that file B. Okay. So and if you check out the master, and here you can verify by going to okay. So we don't have file B here. Okay. So here master no idea about the file B, right? So let's do the merging of these two files. Git merge no ff feature x. So here it shows to add an merge commit. You can add it by clicking I. You can do the changes like merge branch feature x. That's add content here. Okay. You can press escape colon WQ. I repeat, you can escape colon wk to close the symbol. So you can see the merge made by the recursive strategy fileb.txt, and we have two changes in that. Okay, two commits. So you can verify here now git log minus one line. So now the master branch has all these changes. Previously, master branch don't have any idea about the file, and here you can also verify we have file present here, right? So in the now if you see the commit graph, so here you can see the that master branch we have the created file array in the master branch. We created the feature check branches. We did two commits, created and modified the file name. And when you merge it with the merge command, here you can see the new node is created, and we have all the changes in the here. So merge branch feature X content. So this is we added there, right? So this is how you merge your feature branches code, other branches code to your master branches code. All right. So you can. This is what I explained here. So let's come on to the merge conflicts. So these are more tedious things. So actually, when you do the when two developers are working, suppose two developers modified the file before, right? So this second line of file is changed by the both of the developers, both committed that file, and both are different. So Git doesn't know which commit to consider, right? So how does the Git knows, right? So Git doesn't know the which commits you have to consider. So this should be done in manually. So the user needs to decide which commits data should we keep, right? Commit, right? And it is a good practice to merge the different branches in the frequently. So the changes in the both the commits to be kept at minimal. So if this is minimal, so it will be very easier to resolve the merge conflicts, or rather we don't get any merge conflicts. Right? So let me demonstrate this merge conflicts once. Okay, so let's add a new line on the, let me verify in which branch we are on the master branch. So let's add a new line here. Here we can add content, just content, right? And let us commit this file. Okay, so git add like modify file a. Let's add master so that we have an idea. It is the commit, and let me close this. We check out the feature expansion. Let us add modify the same line, the second line, as a content from feature X branch. Okay, so let's add this. We stage these changes, we commit the changes, like modify file from this. It should not be like this. I'm just writing to so that you can understand. So now what is there that our same line of file, our two commits in the master and feature X has the same line changes, but different content is there, right? So let's try to merge this. Let's see what happens. Git check out master. So we are on a master branch, and you can verify that. Actually, this is not there. You can verify that here we have only content here, right? So let's try to git merge this file. So feature express, right? So that's what happened. So here you can see the auto merging of file A. The conflicts, the merge conflicts is file A, and merge conflicts is file A, and automatic merge fail, fix conflicts, and then commit the result. So this happened because we have the second line, same part of the file changes in different branches, right? And or as different commits, different branches of different commits. So let's see here. So here you can see some code here. So this is how Git used. So from the head master we have the content, and from the feature X branch we have this content. So we can keep either of the content or both of the content, right? So first we need to remove these codes, and let's keep both of the content here. So here you can see that now we remove all this. Let me show you once again. I get confused here. So this is Git indicates that these are the changes from the head, which is in the master branch. These are the changes from the feature act branch. It shows here, right? So we remove this. We remove this. Actually, we need to remove this all, right? So actually, what we are trying, we can keep in both the contents, right? So we can we can keep content file commits on the file B or file A. It's up to you. Let's keep both. So here you can also see this. You can master merging. Right? So merge is not completed yet. So now we commit here git add dot git resolve conflicts. Right. So let's see the commit graph now. So here you can see we modified the file and we merged that file with changes in the file name from the master with changes in the file name from features explans. And here we tried to merge this. We got that commit was failed, so we don't see any node here, right? After this, so we resolve the conflicts. Then we tried to merge again, and it is successful, right? So you can see the resolve conflicts, and you can verify here by both the contents, right? So that's it. So these are the merge conflicts. So it's a good practice that you frequently merge both the files, or else you may run into some tedious bugs and all. So those are very. So let's come to network command. So let me show you once. Might be in some place, right? So we have a working copy of that file. Suppose all three developers are working on that file. So they do their work. They commit those changes. Oh, sorry. Actually, some network issue. So I was in this slide, right? You can confirm. So hello, Bharti.
Yeah, you are here. Can you share your screen, please?
Okay, I think it's loading.
Yes, now
Just
it
let
is
me.
visible.
Yeah, it's here.
Yeah, it's visible, right? Sorry for the issue. Okay, so this is the local repository, this is the working copy, and this is the remote repository. So all three developers did the changes, committed. So that comes to the local repository. We push that code. So let us assume that developer worked on some file. Okay, so and developer two has some dependencies with that file. Okay, so developer push that file into code to the remote repository, and what two can do is he can take a pull from the remote branch. So what this does is, so developer gets all the changes from the developer, so he can work on continue his work, right? So this is how we work on the teams. So all three work independently. They push the code, they took a pull, they again do a work. So this is how they work. So coming on to the network commands. So network commands are those commands which is used to communicate between your local repository to the remote repository using a Git, right? So add information of remote repository to the local repository, right? So Git. So this is a So we need to
Sai, maybe your voice is breaking.
so coming to the remote repository, right? So we use the git push minus we use the minus u flag. So we use this to keep a tracking relationship between the remote repository and local repository in that branch, respective to that branch. So every time you execute git status, you get the status that how many commits behind you or how many commits forward you are, right? So we specify origin. Actually, we have to do this in the first time, and we we tell the which branch we are pushing to master. Right. So this is how you do a commit. And if you're pushing a new branch to the remote repo, we use this set upstream command. Actually, what does this? See, this is -FN set upstream origin new branch name. So this publishes our local branch, which is in our local system, to the remote repository. Okay. So along with the changes, it publishes that branch. So let me quickly show you this. So you can head to the GitHub. You can create a new repository from here. Click on the new. Yeah. Here you can give your repository name. This should be unique. So if I give test, so it's available, right? Test is available. You can optionally give some description. You can select private or public repo. I'll go with public. And you can set if you need a readme folder and all or Git. So I don't need all those. I hit on create. So is my screen is visible?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, so let me do that again. So test is not available. So let's test one, two, three. So okay, so we create a repository. Okay, so this is created a new repository for us. So here it's telling us so how you can do it. All the required commands are given here. So let's go ahead and push our local changes to here. Okay, so here we're gonna publish this local repository to the remote repository. So what we can do it git add remote git add origin, and here you have to pass the URL. Okay, so just copy paste this URL. This is your remote repository URL. You copy that and paste it here. So we paste that here and we hit enter. Just a second, it's giving us some trouble. Okay, get remote at origin, my bad. Get remote at origin and paste that here. So now our remote repository is connected to the local one. You can verify that. Verify with this command git remote -v. Right. So you can see that we have origin is pointing to this point. Git and fetch and push. Okay. So let's push git push -v origin master. So what does this do? This publish our all the changes to our remote repository. So we push this. So you can see that it's push all those changes to our remote repository. Just refresh this page and you can see here all the changes, right? You can go ahead and click on the commits tab. You can see all those commits which we did here in the local. Okay, so this is how you push your branches, and let's try to push our feature X branch to here. Okay, so let's git checkout feature X. We switch to feature X and let's try to push. If you try to git push, it will fail. Actually, we have to publish this branch, and our remote repository don't have any idea of this. Okay, so what you do? Git push set origin feature X. Okay, so once you do that, it will push your changes to the remote repository. Now, if you go ahead and just go to the home page, and okay, so you can see the feature X branch is published here. You click on that, go ahead and click on that branch. You can see all the commits of the feature X branch here. All right. Okay, so this is how you publish your changes to the remote repository. So let's coming on to the cloning of the remote repository. Suppose you are working on someone else's project, right? So you have to clone that repository, or if you don't have that repository in your local system, so you clone that repository and you can get all those files in your local system and work on that file, and you can again push it to the remote repository. Okay, so I'll show you in a minute. So let's talk about the push, pull, and fetch. Okay, so as I told you that pull, if you take a pull from a remote repository, it updates your local repository with the latest update in the remote repository. Okay, and pull and fetch work on the are exactly same, but there is one little difference. So in the pull, the head node gets updated, and the fetch the head node doesn't get updated, right? So mostly we use a pull, we never use a fetch. Right, so let me show you this. Suppose we have adding a readme here. Click on this. Right, so let's commit this in here. So as you can see, our remote repository now has the 8 commits, right? 8 commits, and our local repository doesn't have that. If you go and read, let's first it's master, right? And git log, right? So here we don't have that commit. Right? So let's take a pull. So by executing git pull, it updates the local repository, right? So we execute git pull, and you can see that we have one change, and it gets here, right? Now if you execute git status, so here you can see that up to date with the origin master. So that's how you take a pull, and for the cloning works exactly same, but you just need to copy this URL, the HTTPS URL. For demonstrating this, okay, let's delete all these folders. Suppose you don't have these folders, and that's the remote repository. So you can execute git clone, copy paste that URL, and execute this command. You can see that cloning into test123. So here we have our folder, and inside we have all the changes here, right? Inside we have all the changes here. And if you exit git log, okay, let me just, yeah, git log. So here you can see all the commits which we have here, right? So this is how you clone a repository work on. Now you can work on this version. You can again push it there. Okay. So let's move on to the next pull request. Suppose you are working on a different branch and you wanna, or you are contributing someone else's projects, right? So you create, what you exactly do is you work on your branch, you create a pull request, and that viewers of that project maintainers that goes over there, goes over your changes, they approve their change, they approve your changes or give some feedback, and they merge your changes if everything is good, right? So the process is you create a new branch in your local repository, you do the work there, right? And you publish that branch and you create a pull request. Suppose here, let's create a new branch, git checkout, finally, Artyvis, right? So here we are in a new branch. So let's do some changes in the file name. Let's remove this line. Okay. Now here we commit. So we can change bug fixes in file name. Actually, there are no fixes. Just, right. So let's publish this branch. Hotfix. So actually it is not working here. Okay, let's create a pull request from our feature X branches. It will also work. So when we switch to the feature X branch, we add a written here. Or let's try different thing. Let's edit this file here. Actually, I'm creating a new commit here. Let's add some algebras here. We commit these changes. Okay, so now we have did some changes in this class and we can create a pull request. So as you can see, when we post the changes, we get this message, feature X has digital pushes into an less than a minute ago. So we can compare and take a pull request. You go ahead and click here. And here you can see we have from feature X branch, we are merging into master branch, right? And here it's able to, if there's a conflict, so here you get an error message, but you can still create a pull request. You can create a pull request here. All right, so it's do these necessary checks here. Suppose if we are not getting any commits, so actually I am here the owner of this project, so I can merge, but in the other repositories you can merge. The maintainers of that repository reviews your code and merge. So if you merge it here, you can confirm that merge. So now you can check it here in the code. In the master branch, you will have those changes in the file name. So this is the text we added here, right? So this is how pull request works. Okay, coming to the last topic is the forking. So it copies the remote repository to your own GitHub account, right? Some different remote repository to your account, and both will be remote repository. And upstream repo is the source of truth. Let me show you, you will understand better. So let's search some repo like chatbot. Okay. No, we are not getting here. Okay. So here you can see some repos. Let's go over here. So this is not my repo, right? So you can see the fork option here. You can click it here, right? So now you can create a fork. So what does this do is this creates your own repo, and it's connected to that repo over there, right? You can see a fork from this, and this repo is both a remote repository, but this is kind of clone, right? So this repository, which is the original one, this considered as the source of the truth, and this is the your repo. You can do changes here. You can click on the contribute button and you can open up a pull request. What actually we do is you go over here, you copy this one, you clone that, you do over, you push it and click on the contribute, right? And suppose that remote repository has some changes which you don't, so you can click on the sync repo update branch. So this particular branch, main branch, gets updated, right? So this is all about the forking, and that's all from my side. So over to you, Bharti.
Thanks a lot, Sohail and Sai. And I hope the audience now having much clarity about Git and GitHub. And also, they have learned a lot. Okay, now if you guys have any queries
Yeah.
and doubts, you can just ask in the comments. And Sohail, Ahmad, and Sai Charan would be taking your doubts one by one. I think there is already a question asked, which Namad Adish. Let me pin this.
Okay, so it was. Can you elaborate how you got this internship and which part took place in company? Alright, so it was like when I was in my first year, I was much curious about web development. So I started learning web and like I basically saw some course on Udemy. I got it and I explored some documentation and learned it. At that time, I was not like I was not confident about web and all. I just knew basic HTML, CSS, and a bit of JavaScript. I was not familiar with any framework and all. So I started searching for internships since I wanted to like monetize my skills. So, like everyone wants that. So uh, I got one on Internshala, but I'll tell you about it. I got one startup on Internshala, and I worked there for a month. Yeah, for a month. But that was not a good experience for me. So I like joined some of my clubs in my college, and then got in touch with some seniors and learned more about those things. I like started learning, and then I like joined Exinous Technologies in my second year, and now I'm there only. So skills. Talking about the skills, you cannot find the intern during your college. So like, see, first thing is you gotta like get a good respond DSA. That's not important in aspect like talking about the internship, part-time internship in college life in a startup. They don't care much about it, but eventually it's gonna help you. Uh, and talking about the internships that you would love to apply for, like in some startup and all while you are in college. So you can learn development, either of web, Android, or something, whatever you like. So if you are in first year, just explore both of them, web and Android, and whatever excites you, whatever like gets your interest, just go ahead with that. There are a lot of YouTube tutorials, some courses and all, and always documentation is your best friend. So like learn and monetize your skills.
Thanks a lot, Sohail. Same question is for you, Sai Charan.
Yeah, so I was too curious about the web development. So actually, in the first year of my college, I started C programming. So it was not fun at all. So actually, you don't see any results in the C, right? So you do execute some code in command line, you see some lame output. So we had two numbers and that's it. So I was curious about the web development. So how they design these crazy websites. So that's how I got interested in web development. I started the HTML, CSS. I learned from YouTube. I didn't purchase any courses. I attended one workshop for React. So I did those for 2 to 3 months. So, and I was very curious about this internships and all. And I was in the first year of my college, so no companies actually pay much attention to the first year or second year students, right? So the only option is for you is to apply for the startups. You have to rigorously apply. So you have to apply to 10s and 20s of these companies. You may get a reply, you may not get a reply. And one important thing is in these startups don't care about the DSM much, right? Some may care, but most of them cares about your project, the project you have built, the development skills you have, right? So that's a very important thing. So you need to be good at development for working in the startup, right? So that's why I applied rigorously in few companies. So I got my first internship in the end of my first year. So I worked over there for 3 months, and once you get the some experience, 2 to 3 months of experience, so it's from second time it gets very easy to for you to get any other internships, right? So you can show that you have some 3 year work experience in this company, you worked on this tech, right? So it gets very easier for you to get another internship. So I would say the first internship you will get that was very difficult to get. You need to apply so many places. So you need to apply from in various. You can apply from Internshala. Any you can approach them on LinkedIn, right? So like that. So and most important thing you must have a good project, at least 2 to 3 good projects, so you can show off to recruiters and all. And in third year, you must focus on your DSS skills to get any summer internship in any good company. That's it. So that's how I got. Any
Okay,
other
thanks a lot,
questions?
Sai. There is one more question from Jitu. Let me pin this.
It is useful for
Well,
first year
it's
CC. Actually, you're talking about Git.
yeah, of course it is.
Actually, so if you learn any development, right, so you need to maintain your project, right? As we told you that it is used for keep track of your changes. So suppose you're working on a project, so you need to keep track of what you have worked on. Or suppose you're working in with your friend, so you need to keep track what you both worked on. Like you need to divide your work, like right. So that's it. So actually, you need to for maintaining your project, you need Git. It's very important. And not only projects,
Okay.
you can maintain your codes in the cloud,
Mhm.
right? So you can create a private repo. You can create. If you want to add anything, so you can.
Yeah, like in first year, whatever you learn, it's like a cherry on the top because once you start to learn something, you'll not be good at it. You'll make a lot of mistakes, and that is the best time to make mistakes. If you're not making mistakes, you're not learning it. That's a sure thing. So make mistakes in your first year and learn it. That I would say. And learn as much as you can, like take help from your seniors, explore about the technologies. If you are applying for some startups, just explore what they are working on, what technologies they use, and get a grasp over them. Yeah, that's what I was saying. And talking about projects, you don't need a lot of projects. You just need a few good projects that you understand actually.
Yeah, 2 to 3 are enough.
Yeah.
One more question from Naman.
Lot of projects. So
Uh,
actually projects are the best way to learn tech, right? So suppose you learn the React. So only way you can get better on the React or get comfortable in React is by building projects. So you can create a lot projects like some small projects, some big projects. So you must have 2 to 3 good projects. I mean, you must have your some 2 to 3 tech on that, and that project has something doing any good for the society, or it is functional. It's not like you created a weather app and you connected API and you show that weather. So it is very basic project, right? So you can create some complex project, some 2 to 3. That will be put you on top of other candidates. So the hiring of you will be pretty higher.
yeah. Also, in talking about this, about the projects, you need to have some good projects, and for that, you can, if you want, you can go to some YouTube channels such as Traversy Media. You have Simplified Web Dev. You have JavaScript Mastery, and for learning, you can choose either of them, or you can also learn from Hitesh Chaudhary. I'm a big fan of Hitesh Chaudhary, so.
Yeah, he's nice.
One more question from Jitu.
Which process that I can join internship in first year? See, uh, don't. It's like running before walking, right? You gotta develop your skills first. You like. It's not good to work in a toxic company or a small company having no knowledge of tech. Although you learn it, but still, first develop your skills and then hunt for internships. I would say Internshala is good, but it's like saturated now. So either you can directly go over LinkedIn jobs, and you can code, like you can cold email the HRs and all, or you can go to angel.co. That's a good platform for finding internships. First, develop your skills and hunt for internship. That's it.
Yeah.
Sai, would you like to add anything?
I mean, don't get obsessed to. Yeah, actually, don't get obsessed for the internship in your first year. I would say you
Yeah,
gotta
right,
be
right.
good at some tech, right? You gotta be good at some React. Like you could be good at Angular, good at React. So first you be good at React. What's the point if you join any company and you didn't able to work there? It's you won't be able to develop your skills, and you will listen from your managers and all. So actually, in my first year, I got into my first company, so that was a bit toxic. So it was not a good experience for me too. It's like Sohail. So don't get obsessed. Be good at tech, then you can apply. In your
Yeah,
second year, you can join any company. That's all right.
I agree.
Yeah, welcome.
One more question.
How you can get touched? You can approach them on LinkedIn. You can approach them in LinkedIn, or your friend might be working in some company, so you can get referred you. You can ask him, is there any opening? So this is the fastest way to get an internship, right? So if you apply from international and all, actually there are thousands of applications, and from them they have some opening 2 to 3. So they will hire some. They will consider some 50 people from the top, and they might not see your application as well. So the best thing is to approach them directly on LinkedIn, or if your friend is working on some company, so hit them up, say them that, is there any opening? I'm good at this. Please share my resume to your HR, like that. Yeah, you're welcome.
Welcome.
Okay, thanks a lot, Sohail and Sai. I think we have done with all queries and doubts. Okay, guys. So we can wrap
So
up
one more
now.
Yeah, if
thing.
you guys
So
have any further doubts, you can
if
ping us
anyone
on
have
LinkedIn and
artists,
all.
just
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, you can ping on us
Guys,
on
you
LinkedIn.
can, yeah,
So
you
shall we drop?
can say, yeah, you can drop your LinkedIn ID in the comment box.
Just a second. Just a second. I'll drop.
जीतू इज आस्किंग लिंक्डइन में प्रीमियम लेना पड़ता है भाई लिंक्डइन में प्रीमियम की जरूरत तुम्हें अभी नहीं है प्रीमियम इज लाइक if you don't have any connection with someone and you still want to message then it's useful but you don't need it right क्यों खरीदना है if you're getting a free trial then use it.
Actually, you can get. Some people got the LinkedIn Premium for 6 months and all. Even I got for free. You can get it.
Yeah,
या आई थिंक फेस प्रेप करके कुछ है जो लिंक्डइन प्रीमियम 6 मंथ के लिए प्रोवाइड कराता है फ्री में स्टूडेंट्स के लिए.
Yeah, I got it from there as well. Yeah. I think I dropped my LinkedIn
Yeah,
ID.
I think it's not visible here.
Just a second, it might come.
Okay.
Is it right? Yeah.
So you can also drop your LinkedIn ID in the comment box.
I have already dropped, I believe. It's here. Yeah, I've already dropped.
Actually, it might get updated later.
And even if you don't get the LinkedIn ID, like you can still find it there. There is a good chance you can find us.
Yeah, I have got the
Looks
LinkedIn
like
ID
Bharti,
of
you got a question,
Charan.
yeah, from Jitu.
Just a second. कर सकते हैं. Yeah, sure, Jitu, you can join the club.
That's all, I guess.
Guys, here is the LinkedIn ID of Sai and Sohail. You can connect with them and ask your doubts. Okay, now we can wrap up. Thanks a lot, Sohail and Sai Charan. It was a very nice meeting with you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thanks
Bharti,
to
for
the
having
student
us.
chapter and to you.
Yeah,
Thank you
thanks
for
a lot.
inviting us. Really grateful.
Bye, guys.
Yeah,
See ya.
bye. Bye
Bye.
all. See you.